What would you do if one day you woke up and found yourself plunged into a death game? Would your animal instincts of survival kick in, or would you give in? This is the case for a young high schooler. Want to find out what he did? Stay tuned. Welcome to Anime Recap Pro. Today I will be recapping a 2020 Japanese anime titled Darwin's Game. Caution, there will be spoilers ahead. And without any other delay, let's get started. Episode 1. The show kicks off with a boy who seems to be running for his life and trying to figure out how to save himself. He is looking for help on his phone and comes across the name of his friend, Kaname Sudo. When the boy reached a dead end, he tried to fight back against an invisible enemy, but he couldn't because he couldn't see them. In the end, he died. Kaname Sudo is a 17-year-old high school student. Kyoda, a friend, asks Kaname if they've seen their missing friend Hamada, who we know is dead. Kaname says that Hamada sent him a message about a free app game called Darwin's Game. Kyoda tells him not to play, but Kaname still taps the screen. This kid. He passes out when a snake jumps out of the screen and bites him. The game has already begun. A mark is on Kaname's neck when he wakes up in the hospital. Kyoda comes over and tells him that he'll explain the game later and that he shouldn't touch it. He taps on the game and thinks everything is normal until a window pops up telling him he's playing against a player named Banda. Banda shows up in a car with him, holding a knife. Banda moves slowly toward Kaname with a knife, and this poor child doesn't even know his life is in danger. He goes after Kaname, but Kyoda saves the teen just in time. The two run away together, but it looks like they upset the panda guy because he's now on their backsides. Kyoda tells Kaname that he can't call an ambulance because they are in Darwin's Game. Kaname wins the round, which upsets Banda, who says he shouldn't have lost to a kid. Banda's body is moved piece by piece, leaving only a pixelated drawing of his body on the floor. Kyoda also dies from his injuries. Later, Kaname and Shuka meet in an old factory. She asks to see his sigil as a test, since she can't trust someone who doesn't know what it is. When Kaname says he doesn't know, Shuka decides she will kill him, much to his disappointment. He tries to talk her out of fighting because he doesn't want to. She tells him she will let him go, but only if he can prove there is no weapon in his bag. He asks her what would happen if he hypothetically had small weapons. Shuka said she would kill him, and a new round starts. Before Shuko can attack, Kaname uses a powerful flashlight to blind her and then runs away. Kaname tries to figure out a plan. Just as he's about to give up and die, he has an epiphany. Then his sigil comes to life. The hand of Kaname lights up and a gun appears right away. His sigil seems to let him bring things into existence that can be used as weapons to stay alive. Kaname suggests a draw, but Shuko is basically like, fuck you. When he finally gets her down, he holds a gun to her head and tells her to give up. Shuko figures out he is strong, so she gives up the battle and agrees to obey Kaname. The battle is over and Kaname passes out from being exhausted. After a day or two, Kaname wakes up in bed with Shuko, who is not wearing anything. Episode 2. Shuka asks Kaname to join a clan, a group of Darwin's Game players who fight together and earn points. She tells him that many people play the game because points from wins can be used as in-game currency or traded for real money. She also tells him to use some points to temporarily hide his name from the challenge list, especially after beating 2 high-ranked players. She also adds he can't tell anyone else about the game or they will be teleported against their will. Shuko and Kaname get a message about the first big event in Darwin's Game, which is a treasure hunt in Shibuya. This message was only sent to a few players. After a fight with a mysterious player named Inukai, who told him to watch out for his phone, the two were teleported to the city center in Shibuya and split up. To win the event, each of the 300 players must get at least 3 rings before time runs out, even though there are only 300 rings to go around. Each ring also has a different point value based on the gemstone set into it. Kaname meets Ryan Kashiwagi on the 27th floor of the hotel building where he is teleported. Ryan is a middle school student known as the Analyst because she can get and sell information, including details about Kaname's location that helped Inukai find him. Episode 3. Kaname hears that Wang, the leader of a notorious clan called the 8th that claims Shibuya as its territory, is also playing the game. After some conversations with Ryan, they decide to form a temporary clan with him to fend off the upcoming attack from Wang. Episode 5. Ryan gets ready for the 8th's arrival when she notices that the point values of the gems don't match the appraisal values. This makes her think there is much more to this event than what the rules disclose, and that the goal might be something other than collecting 3 rings. Shuka sends a distress message to Kaname when she meets Sui, a person with dual personalities, in the subway. In her first personality, her sigil lets her control water, so she floods the subway and traps Shuka underwater. Kaname and Ryuji go to the subway, while her second personality, her dead brother, allows her to freeze the water. After a few confrontations with Kaname's clan, she accepts to join them. Episode 6. As night comes, the next set of rings is given out, and the diamond ring, the best prize, appears at the hotel, giving Ryan a chance to get the code from the ring. Ichiro says he plays the game because he needs the money to care for his sick daughter, Suzune. Ichiro takes the rings to use as bait and to help the other clan members hide their location. He also sets a trap at the hotel that kills several 8th clan members. Ryan uses the distraction to run toward Shibuya Station. She figures out the numbers are the latitude and longitude coordinates of the real treasure. Episode 7. When Ryan goes to Shibuya Station, she finds out that 8th has also figured out that the real treasure is there, but they have yet to see the code from the diamond ring, so they have yet to be able to find it. On the other hand, Ryan is caught because a member of the gang whose sigil lets him smell her tells the rest of the gang that she is there. Meanwhile, Wang's sigil allows him to teleport right in front of Ryan, which Ryan's sigil did not predict. Wang tells Ryan that if she doesn't tell him the code on the diamond ring, he will kill her. In response, Ryan tells a long story to buy time until the rest of her clan shows up. Ryan needs to figure out what the code on the diamond ring means, so Kaname takes her to a safe place while Shuka, Sui, and Ryuji fight Wang and his gang. Ryan figures out that the code 185911 means that the Book of Origin of Species by Charles Darwin came out in November 1859. Ryuji tries to get away from Wang because he thinks that Wang's attacks only work up close, but he is wrong. Wang uses his sigil to attack Ryuji from behind and cut off his left hand. When Wang is about to kill Ryuji, Kaname makes a deal to let him have the key that Wang said could open the door to the treasure in exchange for Ryuji's life. Ryuji knew Wang was lying, but he agreed to Kaname's plan. Episode 8. Ryuji says that Wang killed his brother and he wants to get back at Wang. Wang is fooled by Kaname's bluff, which works because he makes Wang think that there is a chance that Wang's key will lead to the treasure. This way, Kaname can take the treasure hidden in the coin locker before Wang can react. Then it is shown that the number of digits is the key to the code, since Darwin's book has nothing to do with Shibuya Station and only the South Exit coin locker passcodes have 6-digit numbers. The treasure is a phone call from the game master to Kaname on a smartphone, asking him to grant him one wish that they can. Kaname wants to leave the game, but is told that he can only do so if he clears the game or kills the game master. Instead, Kaname uses his wish to make something to make people less likely to kill him in the game. 2 months have passed since the event, officially called a terrorist attack and caused damage in Shibuya. Kaname has been training with Danjo at the Danjo Boxing Club for the past 2 months. After some confrontations, he then gains some alliances with Danjo and the top player in Darwin's game, Liu Xuelan. Episode 9. Remember Shinozuka, one of Kaname's best friends and classmates? Well, 8th sends Kaname a video of Wang holding Shinozuka hostage and cutting off his fingers. Wang is demanding that Kaname fight him. Episode 10. Ryan finds the 8th's hiding place in a warehouse. He then meets with Kotori of the Icy Crown clan to ask about the 8th's current situation. The Sunset Ravens and Inukai go to the warehouse after getting the information. The police are also there, but since they don't have sigils, they are killed quickly. Through the 8th's manipulation, Shinozuka joins Darwin's game, which gives his sigil the power of telekinesis. Shinozuka uses his sigil to fight back against the 8th's, but he is completely helpless against Wang. Kaname and Ryuji go to the warehouse to tell Wang to let Shinozuka go. When they get there, they find Shinozuka cut up. Shinji of the 8th's is about to shoot Kaname, but Kaname kills him instead. He finally decided that killing is the only way out of this situation. Episode 11. Kaname wants to kill the 8ths because they have killed people both in and out of the game, so he challenges them to a clan battle against the Sunset Ravens. While Kaname and Ryuji kill the last of the 8ths, Shuka fights Wang in a one-on-one match. Wang attacks with his sigil, which changes space, while Shuka gets set up with her wiretap with her sigil to cut off Wang's limbs. Wang teleports out of the warehouse to escape, but he ends up in front of Kaname. Wang gives up the battle without knowing that Kaname used his high roller privilege from the Game Master to force the Challenge Clan to bet the same amount as the Sunset Ravens. Wang and Keiichi leave when the 8th runs out of points. Kaname feels insulted that Wang called him a poisonous insect in his last words, so he shoots Wang as he runs away. In another place, the Game Master talks to Oboro about Kaname's rise of power after he has finished an assassination job. A while later, the Sunset Ravens easily take over Shibuya. They leave enough people alive to spread the message of fear that the game isn't allowed in the territory of the Sunset Ravens. In the epilogue, Kaname starts the next event, a hunting game in a forest, while he is still mad. That's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe.